love of it. How we really love it. Makes me think I'm a man. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Got my belly out to here. I could not refuse it. I could really use a beer. Beer, beer. Beer, 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 beer.
I can't remember how much I have had. I drank a 12-pack with my dad.
That's my son, the drunken manly stud.
Alright, Hookah University, we are back with a special edition. It's a weekend edition, Sunday, right before all you motherfuckers gotta go back to work. And you guys are probably relaxing. You guys are probably getting your last beers in. Me and Kyle just slammed basically 2 beers in about 10 minutes, so we're going fucking full tilt on this one. Thank you everyone for tuning in over on YouTube and here on Hookah University on the Facebook page. Today, my special guest is Mr. Kyle Smith, Mr. Happiness on the seat of Mount Rushmore. His reputation definitely does not precede him. He is the nicest guy. If you ever met him, you know what I'm talking about. He's constantly always smiling, always a great dude. And not only is he just a great dude, he also is the founder, CEO, creator, innovator of Relics Rings Bowls. Mr. Kyle Smith, thank you for coming on, buddy.
Dude, thank you for having me, man.
I'm actually going to open another beer here. This will be number 3. Oh, and there's beer everywhere. Okay, fantastic. Off to a great start. There we go. All right, so we have...
Sponsored by Fumari Bottle Openers.
Sponsored by Fumari. As you see, I have my little Superior Cocoa this way. Over there. My Superior Cocoa box. Because they are a proud sponsor of the classroom over here at Hookah University. Superior Cocoa. They're Coles. That's a good pitch line, right? I think Tam will like that. Anyway, we have a very wide range of people here today. We have David Harris, who's out and about, and he'll be listening. Hope, David, you're having a beer, and you're having a great time tonight. Matt Dezen from the AM Hookah Podcast. He is the M in AM Hookah Podcast. You see, Rob, I didn't fuck it up this time because I know you're listening there. We got Mr. Paul Selau, Stefan, and Maggie, and a bunch of other people, Jesse Sullivan. Thank you guys for tuning in. And today we're going to be talking about all that is Kyle Smith. And I'm curious. How did we meet? The first time we met, I believe, was at the expo last year.
Yeah, you actually came up to me with your girlfriend video crew and did an interview.
Yes.
And then you lost the fucking audio for that interview.
I never claim to be perfect, ladies and gentlemen. I have flaws, and a lot of my flaws are apparently making sure the audio is right in your goddamn video. But it's a learning experience. Bracken Cox just joining us. Thank you so much. So let's get into it, bro. Really quick, actually, before we get into it, since Rob Pecoraro is in here, I said his name right. I hope I said his name right. Does that sound right? It sounded right to me.
Sounds right.
Okay. Pecoraro. He actually wrote up an article on Fumari's website, because you just plugged Fumari unintentionally. He wrote, your bowl is one of the top 3 artisan hookah bowls in 2019. He goes on to say, much like Stone, each Relics Ring bowl is handcrafted to have different aesthetics that simply follow an idea rather than a set subject. Woo! That first line is a fucking doozy. I told you, Rob can write it like a motherfucker. The idea in question here is a ring that serves to keep the foil from blocking any of the gorgeous curves and glaze from being showcased. This is done by applying your foil, then applying the ring to the outer diameter of the bowl, which securely locks it in place. And it goes on and how you use the ring bowl. But this just goes on to set up. People fucking adore you, Kyle. People love your attitude, love what you bring to the community, and like that you're always like you get what you're gonna get, and what you get is a genuine motherfucker. So cheers to that.
Thank you, man, and thank you to Rob for that write-up. That I feel bad admitting that I hadn't seen that yet. But damn, man, I don't even know if I put as much thought into the bowl as he did that first sentence.
Oh yeah, that first sentence is a goddamn doozy. Jafar, what's up, buddy? Thanks for Jordan. So really quick, let's get into it. Where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. Lived here my whole life except for college, which is like an hour down the road.
Now, what is Raleigh like known for? What do they do there? What's like their claim to fame? Like, I live in New York. We're known for murdering people and stealing people's shoes, having hidden blades in our mouth, or maybe that's a Hispanic thing. I might get it confused. But what is your town known for?
God, that's a really tough question. So obviously not much.
Hopefully no one from Raleigh is like listening to this because he just shitted all over your fucking thing. Chris Deladigo over on YouTube. What's up, buddy? How you doing? So are they known for like potatoes? Like Matt's known for potatoes.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, probably tobacco, honestly, which isn't a bad thing to be known for.
Really?
It's like right down the road, we've got Tobacco Road in Durham. That's tobacco.
Tobacco. That's well. Like, you know what? That goes right into our podcast. That's perfect. You live in the perfect spot for the podcast. This is great. So, what are you smoking today? Let's get into it.
I am smoking Dark Side Supernova mixed with a little bit of Polar Cream, and I mean, I'm sure you're tired. Like everyone's tired of me hyping up Dark Side and Polar Cream at this point, but god damn it, I am a basic bitch for Polar Cream. It is my shit.
You know what? I know in time, ladies and gentlemen, you will all get a chance to actually try Dark Side. It will come. Eventually, you will get your hands on it, and you will find a flavor that basically knocks your socks off. And I think I can speak for both of us. We've tried a lot of tobaccos. Everything from Alfaker to Tangiers, and everything in between. Ugly, fucking Trifecta. Oh my god, Sir Bentley, Adalia, so much, so many different things. When you smoke Dark Side, and I'm not trying to get on any Russian bandwagon. I don't give two shits about Putin. He can suck my dick. But the Russians make some really good hookah products, and they make a really good tobacco using Virginia leaf, might I say. This is grown here in America that they ship back, and they ship back over here for a really expensive price. But I mean, damn, it's fucking good. I mean, I'm a mint guy. I know Supernova is not a mint. But Jesus Christ, does that thing give you, like, it makes your whole chest cold to the point where you stopped smoking 5 minutes ago and you still feel it. What is your, like, thoughts on Polar Cream? Because you seem, like you said, you're a basic bitch for Polar Cream. I'm a basic bitch for pumpkin spice. So explain to people what Polar Cream is.
Polar Cream, I had no idea what it was. I just saw, I don't know, I was going by names. You know, like when a shisha company names their product, sometimes it's kind of ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
Polar Cream fits that bill. So I threw it on an order and had no idea what to expect. And I take the first draw, and it's just this like really rich, creamy pistachio flavor. It's like it's a little understated, the pistachio, so it's not, or the cream. It's not too sweet, but it's just like a nice, rich dessert flavor.
So you would say your palate kind of like you like desserty flavors?
No, actually, no, not that much. I tend to like floral stuff and spice stuff. That's why it took me off guard so much.
Wow, so this had something different to like be like, you know what? I really like this stuff. This is actually pretty good. Rob says the power of high fructose corn syrup, baby. Oh, I love it. Rob is out in full troll today. It's great. All right. So, what was your first hookah experience? Like, we all have that moment where we saw a hookah and we just were like, "What the fuck is that?" We probably gravitated towards like, "Oh, that's probably for smoking weed," and then you actually get the chance to smoke hookah. What was your first like hookah experience?
Oh man, you know what? When I was in Vegas for Hugh last month, I was staying with Rob, and we were up late one night, and you know the question came up like, what's your dream hookah spot? If you could go to one place to hookah, where would it be? And like I thought for a minute, and I was like the beach or like the mountains. And I was like, no, if I could go back in time to that first hit, that first hookah pull. And all right, so my first experience was high school. My best friend had like recently started smoking cigarettes, and I was super straight-laced kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do cigarettes, but like I want to hang out with you when you're smoking.
Yeah.
So one day he comes home with a hookah. He picked it up at a gas station or something, a little Chinese pumpkin like everybody starts with.
The best hookahs, as you know, as everyone all knows, yes.
Absolutely. The paint's already chipping off the base before you get it home. So he sets this thing up, and he puts the tobacco in it, puts the tin foil on. I think he'd only like seen it done once. And he's like, okay, well now what do we do? I was like, I don't know. He's like, we gotta light it somehow. Oh fuck, I need coals. I didn't get coals. So he goes downstairs, out into the backyard, opens up the barbecue grill, pulls out about 4 charcoals, brings it back upstairs, and we just load this thing up with fucking Kingston Instalight charcoals. And I don't know if it was the first or the second pull, but I hit it, I stood up, and then I blacked out, and I passed out into his drum set.
So you basically did like a Step Brothers, where you just basically went straight into the drum set and just smashed everything. That is actually very interesting. I'm not sure if I should applaud you or be utterly disgusted that the fact that you use Kingston charcoals to light the hookah. I don't think anyone here has ever thought of that. That's an amazing move. Is that a challenge? That sounds like a challenge. Kingston charcoal challenge by Kyle Smith.
Do not endorse this challenge. Do not write me when you have it.
Well, I would say that is quite the story, and that's quite the experience. But what kept you, like, it sounded like you had a really bad or a really amazing first time, because I never had a hookah put me on my ass like that. What made you try it again? I think I would have been like shell shocked. I would have been like, fuck this shit. That's the devil. I don't want anything to do with it. Why did you go back to hookah?
I mean, once he figured out the coal situation, it was honestly just like a way to. It was the summer before I left for college when I started smoking hookah. Mm-hmm. So my best friend was like a year behind me. Mm-hmm. So like we were getting ready. I was getting ready to move an hour away, which at the time felt like I'm never going to see you again, bro. So hookah was just like the bonding agent that like we had between us that summer. We just hang out upstairs in his mom's bonus room above the garage with the window open. We'd be taking like quiet hits so she wouldn't hear us because we're not supposed to be smoking.
Did you like blow it out the window with?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What was your what was your first tobacco you were smoking though?
Actually, I know most people are either Alfaker or Starbuzz, which definitely mixed in for me. But the first one I ever smoked was I want to say it was the brand called Pharaoh's. It came in this kind of like sepia, like see-through tin that was made out of plastic. Yeah, they had it at the this little gas station called Smoker Friendly. It was the only tobacco I had.
You know what's probably good is that your hookah was basically made out of plastic and like cheap aluminum, so you were just keeping with the aesthetics. You didn't want to break the mold. You wanted to be like, okay, what Kingsford charcoal? What's the next thing on the shit list that we can fucking smoke out of? That's fucking interesting. Like, it's funny because like when I speak to a lot of older smokers, like I'm dating you, like carbon copy. But like a lot of people smoke stuff that's not even on the market anymore. You know, like Eddie Chung smoked a lot of stuff. Paul. They all like grew up like smoking, like grew up, but like smoked a lot of stuff that just is not around anymore. You know, so that's very interesting. Have you ever like, what was your first experience at like a lounge? Like, did you go to a lounge ever and then realize, oh shit, they're not using Kingsford charcoals. We're doing it wrong.
Yeah. By that time, I'd already figured out the whole like barbecue grill charcoal is a no situation, but first lounge I went to was actually what turned me on to Tangiers. There used to be a lounge out in Chapel Hill where UNC is located. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy out there that ran, probably to this day, the best hookah bar that's ever existed in North Carolina. Okay. It was called Bliss Hookah. The guy's name was Adam Bliss. And
his last name was Bliss?
Yes, it was, and he was active on the hookah forums back in the day. I think Matt Dezen remembers him.
Is this guy like a porn star? Like, yo, girl, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes of bliss. Like, I feel like there's so many good things. Like, that's such a badass name. Like, you're made for porn with that at that point. Like, that's amazing. Okay, so go on, carry on.
You're good. So, I guess through the hookah forums, this is back probably like it was early 2000s, I think.
Okay.
So through the hookah forums, he had gotten word about Tangiers, and I think he got up with Eric, and they established, from what I understand, a friendship that they still have to this day. Like Eric, whenever he's coming through to check on tobacco out this way, there you go, tobacco, North Carolina. He'll hit up Adam Bliss like 11 p.m. on a weeknight, just be like, "Hey, I need a couch to crash on," and of course he's got his stash of K Peach, and they'll just like stay up smoking cigars and K Peach.
I do like me some K Peach. That's super interesting. That like what happens behind the scenes and stuff. That is, you said that he doesn't own the lounge anymore.
No, that's another thing North Carolina's known for. Our smoking laws took effect pretty early on, so they had to shut down because they were getting fined just out the ass. So that's translates to the first hookah bar I ever smoked at in Raleigh. Adam Bliss went to it a lot, so he had the Tangiers connection still, and he hooked them up. And that's how I first tried Cashmere Peach and Cane Mint. I think it was the first bowl I ever smoked there.
So
first
just for the
Tangier.
record, this is now forever because it's on the internet and it's true. You are a fan of K Peach.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
There we
Yeah.
go. We got another one on the army of K Peach. Thank you very much, Cameron. I think Cameron's a fan of K Peach. So really quickly before we get into the next question, I wanted to see if we have any questions from the people from our lovely peanut gallery here on Facebook. Also, if you have any questions, you can check it out on YouTube. Just type away. I can see that as well. Rob says it's been a while since he heard that name. I think he's talking about Bliss.
Oh, cool.
Does Matt Desna has a question? Does anyone know JM Tobacco? I'm not familiar with that, Matt. You are a far more knowledgeable smoker, so if you don't know it, I'm probably not going to know it. But Rob seems like he knows JM. Like, you guys, I always take my cues from you guys, and I understand there's people who know a lot more than me, and I always open my ears up and listen when you guys talk about stuff. So are you familiar with JM Tobacco?
No, Matt, is that a shisha brand, or is it just like a tobacco brand? Like,
I don't know. Jafar says he hasn't heard of JM either, but you know what? We'll keep going. So if you have any questions, just put a bunch of question marks next to it so I can see it. Maybe write it in all caps, and we'll keep the dialogue going, keep the questions going. So I have a fucking question. I always love when I have not only super enthusiasts on my podcast, but people who actually go out of their way and be like, you know what? I want to create a product. And your product is nothing to scoff at. And, like, what made you make a bowl, dude? Like, that's like... And I'm sure we both know people who say, hey, I want to open a hookah lounge. Oh, I want to make my own tobacco. Oh, I want to make a bowl. Or I want to make a hookah. And then 10 years later, I'm like, hey, dude, what are you doing? Oh, man, same thing. I still want to do it. I'm like, why haven't you done it? It takes a certain individual to step forward and be like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn the craft. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to bet on myself. And one of the best things you can do in life is basically bet on yourself. Take the risk on yourself. Because no one else is going to do that. No one else is going to be like, you know what, Kyle? You look like a strapping young lad. I bet you can make bowls. Here's a shitload of money. And here's some classes. No, you have to go out there and fucking grab it and fucking learn it yourself. So what made you go into, like, making bowls? What gave you the inspiration to do that?
Fuck, man. It's kind of a twofold answer, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. But
we got an hour. Have at it. I'll have a beer while you speak. Go ahead.
All right, drink up. So, I think this was back in like 2016, maybe. It was like right after I'd gotten married. So, it's twofold. One, I think the first thing that made me think like, whoa, bowls can be more than just like a functional part of a hookah. They can be something that you put your creativity and your artistic eye into. The first thing that opened that door for me was being a part of the hookah groups and seeing people posting their pictures of stone bowls. And specifically, it was the oak bowl that caught my eye. I was like, that is so fucking cool.
So nice.
I have not seen anything like that before. So, of course, like, as soon as I found out where the website was and when the next batch release was, I jumped on there and got an oak bowl. And I don't know. Me and the wife were kind of like looking for a way something to do outside of the house after work. We could spend time together. So I was like, all right, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here. One stone bowl. So, dad jokes. I was like, hey, what if we signed up for a pottery class? And like, ulterior motive was, I'm going to learn how to do this. This is pretty cool looking. And like, I could make my own and save some fucking money every month.
Yeah.
And she jumped on the opportunity. So I stroll in there with my oak bowl in hand to the first class. Everyone's like making their mugs and making their cereal bowls. And I'm like, yo, teach, how do I make this smoking device? And yeah, needless to say, they were like, I have no idea. But they were cool enough to show me how to do it. They're like, it's a pretty basic shape. I'm pretty sure I could do it. So first class, I've set the oak bowl on the table. I'm looking at it, trying to like gauge, like, all right, how tall does it need to be?
Yeah.
How wide? And I turn and say something to the teacher, and then turn back, smack that thing off the table, shatters into about 15 pieces. There went my oak bowl.
there went your inspiration, but it seemed
Yep.
like, so it's always good. So this goes back to my thing when I was talking to Rob. We all need inspiration as enthusiasts. We look at what other people are doing, and we're like, well, how I want to do something like that. That inspires me. And as the creator of said product, you should be like, if someone's inspired by your product, you should nurture that person and be like, hey, listen, you have the inspiration, because maybe one day you're not making any bowls. Maybe, you stop production, and you want to keep the industry moving forward. You always want to keep it moving forward. And I know Brandon George, does Brandon George know about this story? Because he would fucking probably, like, love to hear about this. He'd be like, what? Like, a product I created, like, fucking inspired you? Like, that's fucking amazing.
I think I've told it to him several times over the years. The first time I told him was like literally the night that it happened. I emailed him. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I was apologizing to him. Like, I just broke one of your pieces of art that you created. And at the time, he didn't know, like, obviously who I was. I hadn't done shit yet.
Yeah.
But,
He's like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he messaging me? What is this?
yeah, so I don't know if he knows or not, but I've put it out there enough that he should know by now.
Well, now he's got to know. Now he's got to know. Someone tag Brandon George. Get him in here. Matt Desmond has a question. What was the first bowl you made? Was it a funnel or eggy style bowl?
If you give me 10 seconds, I will go grab it and show you.
Go ahead. Do it. I like it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what questions do you have for our lovely, esteemed guest, Kyle Smith? Nothing's off the table here in the classroom. We are in the realm of learning things about Kyle Smith, learning things about what he does and how he does certain things and why he does certain things. So you can ask everything you want. Jafar says, Brandon's work is gorgeous. I smoke out of stone bowls as daily drivers. Yes, I'm actually smoking right now out of the Pride Bowl that he recently made. That we put all the proceeds and we donated it to a charity that helps people disenfranchised by like coming out or feeling like they're persecuted against. So that's super awesome.
That is awesome. I saw that.
All right, so Kyle.
All right, here's the first bowl I ever made, which I was so proud of at the time.
Oh, it's tiny.
Look how shallow this thing is.
Wow, that thing is crazy. How does that thing hold heat? Does it hold heat really well?
I haven't smoked it in like 2 years, but it did okay. In fact, this used to be my lunchtime bowl. That's what I call it. This is my lunch bowl. I used to work about 5 minutes from my house, and I get an hour lunch. So at lunch, I would just come home, rush around real quick, and fire this thing up and smoke for about 30 minutes.
That is awesome. I don't think a lot of people knew about that. All right.
Here's a coal for scale.
Holy shit. Wow. You make that coal look like a 31 coal right there. That's what it looks like. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's awesome. Matt, I hope that answered your question. I learned a little bit. That's fucking super cool. Thanks for sharing that with us.
and then bonus, the second bowl I made, I overcorrected trying to make it larger because the first one came out so small.
Uh-oh.
So I made this thick boy.
Woo!
And then I got over ambitious and tried to make a fit bowl for an HMD, and it came out way too small because I had no idea that clay shrinks like an idiot.
I'll tell you what. I bet there's like 5 people in this chat right now that are willing to be like, "Hey, I'll buy that shit."
I can't sell that. They'd be like, they smoke it once and be like, "Why did I smoke?"
But when you say you can't sell it, you know what that does? It raises the price. Then they'd be like, "Oh well, like how's like $300? Does that sound good?" You know how people are in the community; they will buy anything. They will buy anything that has sentimental value, especially You know, if
Yeah,
they,
somebody hashtag go beamed on this. Get him in on
oh,
here.
go buy it. Already has his order in. He actually probably already emailed him. Go buy it is awesome. So you didn't have a background in clay. It wasn't like Brandon George, who basically this was his hobby, and then eventually he just made it into a thing. So you were talking about a little bit about your wife. That's awesome that you wanted to do something with her. Does she have an artistic background or something like that? That you were like, you know what, she's the perfect partner, not only because she's your wife, you know, but also because like she has a certain eye for certain things when it comes to creativity.
Yeah, she is amazing. She is extremely artistically gifted. She doesn't think she's that good when it comes to more like tangible physical artwork, even though she's exceptional.
Yeah.
But she's a music therapist. She went to school for music therapy, got her degree, and she's an excellent guitar player and piano player and incredibly good singer. She's in the North Carolina Golden Chorus, which sings with like the North Carolina Symphony Orchestra. Like, she's outstandingly talented.
So she basically has more talent in her pinky than we have in our whole body, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
She's not off camera like with a knife, being like, "Motherfucker, you better talk me up. I'm gonna stab you." Yeah,
No.
buddy, yeah. I mentioned the thing. Yeah, we're good. We're good. That's fucking awesome. So we got the inspiration where your bowls come, how you started it, how you made it. I mean, your bowls are very unique on the market. I will say that they definitely stand out, especially comparing them to Mason and Stone Bowl, which are like the three. You are in there with the three top artisans as far as like enthusiasts who fucking said, "Hey, I'm gonna make this a craft. I'm gonna put some time into it, and I'm gonna see what people think." And you've gotten better and better and better with different glazes and different styles as you've gone on. So that's an amazing feat in itself to always be in the conversation. And I don't remember the last time. Well, I do remember the last time he made bowls. It was August 27th, 2018, because I do my fucking research. It was the last time he actually made a batch of bowls. But we will get into that. We will get into that shit. So, what are your thoughts on, since we're still in the realm of artisan bowls, what's your thoughts on other artisan bowls? What is it that you look at that you say, damn, man, that's a really fucking awesome thing. I never thought of that. What still inspires you right now?
Dude, to this day, Stone Bowl still inspires me. I mean, I feel like not to not include Hazy Bowls in this, because I think Hazy Bowls is coming up and sort of following the same trajectory.
And we will talk about Hazy Bowls, but...
For sure. So Stone Bowls, he has such a good eye for shape and for just creating like a very flowing piece.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah, it's incredible.
It is basically almost, if not, an art piece for hookah. Like, I have a bowl from him that I don't use. It's
Same.
It's in a fucking little leather case, and it's off to the side that no one gets to smoke. It's not. It's going to be that piece that sits on the shelf because it's so beautiful. I don't want to damage it with charcoal or anything else, because when it comes to hookah, there's so many different ways to identify yourself as a hookah smoker through your pipe. Like, whether it be a restricted pipe or open pipe, what color you like, anodizing, what type of base you like, the colors on the base. Like, there's so many different ways to represent yourself, and this can be seen at meetups, like the Chicago meetup that's coming up in October. Everyone brings out their personal piece to show off, and really, like, but just by looking at the piece, you can kind of almost learn a little bit about the person who's smoking it. Like, if they're smoking like a really nice Regal, you're like, wow, like, that guy went out of his way and spent a lot of money on this piece, and it's a one-of-a-kind piece. And, you know, like, you can learn a little bit about people through how they smoke. What's your take on that? Do you believe that is a philosophy, or am I reaching for, like, the low-hanging fruit there?
No, it's a little low, but I think it's completely accurate. You know, people aren't going to go out of their way to drop, like, $600, $700, $800 on a custom Regal like pipe and not get it tailored to their taste.
Exactly.
So you
like,
can read into someone's style there.
So Stone Bowls, you're right, and Brandon George has a way that every time he makes a bowl, it's, even if it's the same style of bowl, the colors, the way they pop off the bowl, the glazes, just the overall bowl, like, every bowl is completely somewhat different than the last one. Even I have the first generation of oak bowls to like the newer oak bowls. They're completely different. So I think they're different clay, you know. So like even that they're just different. Like going into products, like there's any products right now that you have your eye on that you were like, damn, I want to get that.
If you'd asked me this question like a month and a half ago before the expo, yeah, but I came home with it, so I've got my product, and I'm satiated for a bit till I refund the wallet.
What was that product?
That was. I saw this thing sitting pretty at the Hookah John booth as a display pipe that they were actually using, and talked them into selling it to me. It's the Faro Classica from Russia.
Oh, that is nice. That's a nice piece.
I
Let me see
love
that. Let me see that base. Let me see what that base is. Let's see what you put it on. Oh,
That is
very
a
nice. Very
Faro
nice.
base differently from Hookah Shisha.
Hookah Shisha, man. I have nothing but nice things to say about those guys. You know, those guys have always been really good to me. They gave me my start when it came to reviewing. I will never ever badmouth those guys. I have nothing to say negative about those guys. Those guys are awesome. They've always been really cool. And a little known secret, when I did have my reviewing thing with them, I'm pretty sure I talked about this in the past, where they would give me X amount of like money to buy from the website, but they never, not once have they ever said, hey, we need you to review this, or we want you to talk this way, or we want you to even put our logo in your videos. Never once. That was never in the conversations. And Smoker Pass has always been a gentleman. When I met him,
Always.
I haven't met Alex Rice, but I heard good things about Alex Rice. You know, everyone is super. Everyone has a good or bad story about everyone. You can always find that person, especially in the hookah community. But no one has a bad story about Kyle Smith. I'm beginning to believe that Kyle Smith is not even real. He's not a real person. I met you, but you could have been a fucking CGI projection. I don't know. They did it to Tupac. So, how we were talking about Vegas. Like, did you enjoy Vegas this year? Did you like the expo? Did you think that maybe they did things a little bit differently?
Dude, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your skirt, but you made Vegas awesome this year. The H-Uni party in that house was everything hookah is meant to be.
You know what? As much as I would love to take credit for that, that goes to the Travis Leader, Bob Gugliesco, Jeremy Bird, Wayne
Gonzalez.
Travis is
like,
you know, that
they're
goes
all like,
to
"Fuck you, Kyle, we did stuff too, but you guys all. Jeremy, Travis.
Tony Palmieri. You know, even Cameron was there. You had a lot of people helping out with that experience. You had Bracken Cox was there. Like, everyone helped out to make that experience. I think I bit too much off. I tried to do too much. You know, Paul Seelau was fucking like my right-hand man when we needed to get shit done. Like, it was just, it was a really team effort, and that's what Hookah University really does, is that it's not just one person to do something or carry it on their back. We distribute the weight, and we basically go forward, and we always have a discussion, what's the right thing to do and what's the wrong thing to do. And I had a really good team when I was an admin of Hookah University. And now, like, they have the admin staff is Wayne Gonzalez, Travis Leader, Jeremy Bird, and Paul Seelau. Those four guys are the guys who are carrying everything on their back. So the direction of Hookah University right now rests on their shoulders. And a lot of what you see happening right now is thanks to those guys, because they're taking the direction. They're creating events for you and stuff like that. So it's very nice to see that, you know, I can take a step away and have other people step up and really be there to, you know, carry the ball going forward. But that event was really awesome. I'm glad it went off as good as it did. I'm never handing out wristbands again.
I felt so bad for you, man.
Never, ever. And you know what? Travis Leader, he was like, the wristband thing, it's going to be a bit much. I was like, nah, dude, I got this. And it was a lot. It was a lot of work. And Paul tried saying, oh, I'll do it. I was like, I got it. I'm leaving anyway, so I'll do it. But did you see anything at the expo in particular that was a little bit different? Something that was changed for the better?
Changed for the better? That's a curveball. I really liked the presence of, not to harp on this again, but the presence of Russian products showing up here in America. I feel like that's going to be a big change in the next couple of years as far as how much they saturate the market.
Did you feel like it was like, okay, like the expo is not just about us anymore as a tight-knit community that the U.S. market is, because kind of when you get to a certain point in the community, you kind of know everyone. You start, rubbing shoulders with everyone. Did you feel like, oh shit, now we have people that are taking notice and they're bringing more stuff in? People are taking risks and paying the money to bring more products in, to be like, hey, listen, hookah isn't just this bubble, it's a worldwide thing. And, Hookah Expo Worldwide being the name, it's nice to see new products there every year.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, seeing I love the Work Bun booth. I was so happy they were there. That was like the first place I went to. I was like, I have got to get a set of these tongs. I have been teased enough on Facebook with these pictures of these beautiful twisted cast iron tongs.
Oh, you're talking about the Work Bun tongs?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, they were
Yeah,
nice.
so actually, Rob still has those. Rob, if you're watching, I need to get those from you. I'll send you some.
I'm sorry, Rob. The tongs have now been reclaimed by the owner. He wants his shit back.
And I feel like maybe I was like late to the party on this one, but Work Bun had that hookah. I don't know if you saw it, set up under the black light with the I forget what the process is called, but where they electrify the wood and create sort of the lightning pattern.
Yes, to elaborate more on that, I think Matt Dezen actually got the Work Bun hookah that glows. You're talking about the glow in the dark one, right? With the UV lights and stuff. It's super cool. The stem is like almost like a wood burnt pattern. Like if you had like a wood burning pen, they did like an electrocution up the base, and it looks awesome. And I would like to see maybe a video if Matt Dezen can come out with a video about that. That is super fucking cool. I really liked it. So do you see yourself maybe one day in the future possibly having your own booth? Is that something you would think about, like, you know what, I would like my own booth? Or do you want to keep the possibility of being able to walk around and network and enjoy the expo? Because it's one thing if you're going there as a person who's just going to enjoy the expo. It's another thing if you're going there to work it. It's two different environments. And what do you think?
I've seen how stressful that is on you and on like Ron Farah. This time, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half ago, I would have probably said yes immediately to that question. Or lots changed in the last year, so probably not. But if things could change, I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna touch a little bit on that. So we're gonna get a little bit into the nitty gritty here. We're gonna get into a little bit of what I've been getting a couple messages about. When they said whenever I have a guest on, I get a nice influx of people who message me. It's usually the same 7 or 8 people who message me certain topics and certain questions that they would like to see me talk about on the classroom. And it happens. It happens all the time. And if you ever have a question and you see that I have a guest coming on and you have a burning question you want me to ask them, shoot me a DM. Just slide in my DMs. Get me that fucking message. So, can you still hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay.
I got a bit of a beer spill here. 1 second.
Oh, no, that's a party foul. I'll drink for you. I'll take the penalty.
Thank you. All right, under control. We're good.
All right, so back in August 27, 18, you decided to do a batch release with a company that is now defunct and not around called Hookah Heroes. The batch release was botched, to say the least. It didn't go as planned. And I remember the last time I had you on the classroom, it was me, you, Jeremy Bird, Ron Dulé. Ron Dulé can suck on my balls. And we sat down and we were talking about the Relics Ring Bowls. How you made them. How you came up with the idea. And I think it was Daniel Newberg who we had on. And we had him talk about, and he was kind of like, the inspiration a little bit of, the...
Oh, completely. Not a little bit. He had the idea.
He had the idea. You sent him to, like, the Alpha Bowl to test it out and check it and stuff like that.
Yep.
Let's do this in a ordered fashion before I fucking rip this motherfucker a new asshole. All right? So, why... So, you, up to that point, you were releasing them on your own.
Right.
And you had the website?
No, I didn't have a website at the time. Website was something I tinkered with starting up. I bought like a domain and got like a real basic setup going around the time that I was about to release the Ring Bowls with Ron. I was kind of gearing up for things to take off.
So how were you releasing the bowls before the Hookah Heroes thing?
So before that, I think I had really only done one release over Facebook. That was the first batch I did. That was real early on. Like, that was... I'd only been making bowls for maybe 4 months at that point, after that first pottery class.
And what were the pros and cons of releasing it, like, over Facebook?
The cons are definitely trying to keep up with how many people... You can't control how many people are going to see your product and how many people are going to like it and be interested and message you about trying to get one, which is awesome. But, you know, I was nowhere near prepared for that kind of influx of demand.
And what were your batch releases like, number-wise, like ballpark-wise, before the Hookah Heroes thing?
I mean, they were relatively the same. I think I put out like 20 bowls on that first batch release.
That's pretty standard. Like, especially at the given time. If you look at Mason, you look at like Stone. At that time, I think 20 bowls, 25 bowls, maybe 30 at the max was kind of the release. And you know, Mason has a website. Stone Bowls has a website. This is how they do, you know, their releases. But so what was the initial thought process of? Did you want to partner up with a distribution, like a website, so it's easier of access, so you can just concentrate more on making the bowls and then letting them sell them and distribute it and worry about the shipping and all that stuff? So it was like, because it's always a two-part process. It's always a two-part process. Like even me, like if I made T-shirts, right? Dr. New Source T-shirts, I have to make the T-shirts and stock them. Then I have to go out and worry about, okay, who wants to buy the fucking shirts, and then ship the shirts. And the shipping part is a very big pain in the ass, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're shipping to all different parts of the United States, maybe overseas, everywhere. So I can understand why someone who is a creator, you just want to focus on making the best product possible and not worried about, oh shit, when I'm done with this fucking kiln and they're sitting there, now I got to fucking put them in boxes and now I got to ship them out. So I understand. Was that more of the process? You kind of wanted to take that burden a little bit and make it more of an ease of transition with the overall process and take some of the work off your end?
That was kind of the secondary motivation for doing it. I didn't actually think about that being a benefit of teaming up with a vendor until he was kind of explaining to me, like, here, I'm going to do this, this, and this for you when he was making this pitch. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, yeah, that would take a lot of fucking shit off my plate. So, yeah, for sure. That was a huge thing because I just had to box up all the bowls and send them to one place and not have to worry about 20 different people. But really, what made me decide to go with a vendor, not Ron specifically, but just a vendor, was based out of my own naivete, where I thought that, like, you know, there's a lot of interest getting drummed up for these bowls, and I've only made like one batch of them. And I've like a lot of people showing me support right now, which was fucking awesome. And I thought, okay, maybe this is like the next step to legitimacy for me. To like taking this from a hobby that I do after work in the evening to something that I can like take and show my wife and show my parents and my friends and be like, look, this is like legitimate. There's a demand for these. I'm on a website being sold by a vendor. I can make a career out of this.
No, yeah, it's a certain like, you know, gratification. Be like, hey, listen, like this is a passion project that now like people are gravitating towards my product. This is amazing. Like, look at this. This is an achievement. So why did you end up going with Ron? I kind of know the answer already, but like to catch people up, why did you decide to go with Ron rather than someone like Hookah John, a 5-star, or Hookah Junkie, or a Hookah Dash Shisha?
So I think Hookah John, I did talk to him at the expo. Like, I think it might have been the first expo, and I think he like vaguely maybe knew who I was from the Facebook groups after that first batch, and he just sort of, you know, in passing was like, yeah, man, maybe we could like maybe carry your product if you could do like 200 bowls.
Giving a very like PC answer, like not like testing the waters a little bit, like seeing what's
but
going on.
More to the point was he said 200 bowls, which I balked at. I was like, fuck, what? All right, I'll talk to you in 2020. So.
Because ultimately, this is a like a 2-person production. It's you and your wife basically doing this as a hobby. You know, like, so like 200 bowls. That's a lot of bowls. That's a lot of time. Oh, it's one person. So like basically, I remember the lives that you did. I remember all the, like the time you would take like to make the one bowl and make it perfect and make it the way that you envisioned when you sat down. And it's a process, and that's only one. We only saw one step of the process, the shaping process. We didn't see the firing, we didn't see the glaze, we didn't see all the stuff that goes in after that, which is a whole, like, you could make a whole series on this stuff. But this is it's always good to let people know like what the process is, so they have more of an appreciation of what, when they finally get the final product, be like, hey, this wasn't just made out of a fucking like Star Trek machine where you press the button and it hit red and it's fucking red glazed bowl. Like, this is a lot of like basically, you know, getting into it, like a lot of time, a lot of effort. A lot of people that work as far as like making bowls, they all have other jobs. Look at Nino. Even Mason Bowls has a huge demand. Even now overseas and a little bit more, he still has a full-time job, you know, and you have to like pay for the hobby. You know, you got to pay for that passion project. You know, eventually the goal maybe sometimes is ultimately get into that point where you can be like, you know what, finally, you know what, I think I can put all my eggs in one basket and do this as like a, you know, a full-time thing. So you picked, why'd you pick Ron exactly?
So after I ran into Hookah John at some point during that first expo. I ran into Ron, and he was there. He'd seen my stuff on Facebook, and he came at me and was like incredibly complimentary of what I'd put out so far, and told me he was sort of in the same boat. He was trying to make that comparison. Like, you and I are both kind of on the same upward trajectory, starting out from scratch. He's like, listen, I would love to carry your products. I'm not going to give you a timeline. I'm not going to give you a certain number that I need. I'm not going to hassle you for it. Like, hey, Kyle, where are these bowls? And that was exactly what I wanted to hear at the time after hearing 200 bowls from Hookah John.
No, I definitely understand why. I mean,
Yeah.
Also at the same time, Hookah Heroes did have a kind of a reputation as knowing to take a risk on newer products, to bring newer products to market. Like, a lot of people forget that Ron did take a risk on like a more obscure products, like lesser known people at that time. So you could go to Hookah Heroes at that point and actually get products that were basically not on any other website, because he was actually going out and trying to find these things. At that time, we were all completely on board. So basically, fuck that guy. All right. Turn the fucking thing. This is why you chose him. So basically, correct me if I'm mistaken when it comes to how people send distributor stuff. The order comes in, 40 bowls, 50 bowls. You make said 40 bowls, you make said 50 bowls. You send it to him, you get paid for said bowls. Now the distributor has a choice to mark it up and market it as they see fit. Now that baby that you gave is now in the hands of the distributor or the retailer. One of the reasons why Nino keeps everything in-house is so he can control all aspects of it. You did not get fucking paid.
No.
Now, was it a thing that you didn't ask for the money, or you just trusted said individual that by his word up to that point that he was going to follow through with what he said?
I mean, I didn't ask for the money when I should have. So that's another... This was the first time I'd done anything business-related with my hookah stuff outside of just asking for donations on my own for my product.
Yeah.
So stupid Kyle didn't think that maybe if you're doing a business deal with someone, A, you should have some sort of written contract. B, maybe you should talk to someone who's done something like this before and kind of get the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't ask for payment before I delivered the product, and that was my first mistake. Well, probably my second. First one was teaming up with Hookah Heroes.
That is disappointing. So he basically broke his word, ghosted, disappeared, didn't follow through, had a bad batch release, ghosted on the whole hookah community, not only hurting you in the process and your creative process and basically jading you to go forward with any more bowls, because at that point you basically got the runaround, you got the big dick in the ass, and you were basically put in a really bad position by someone you trusted.
Oh, I can't understate that enough, how much I trusted. That was why I didn't even hesitate to to ever. I don't know. I never thought that this would happen because Ron from the get-go was such a cheerleader for me and for making this product. You know, like every single night for a year, the year that it took me to R&D these and make like 16, 17 of them, he would be on Facebook Messenger with me at night, and I'd be showing him like the progress, and I'd be like, I got it to work, I got this to work, or I got this glaze to work. And he was just like, fuck yes, you are awesome, you are the shit, you're killing it. He never pressed me for a timeline, like he said. Like, up to the release, everything was kosher, and it was fucking...
It seemed that way. Like, we talked the day before the release. It seemed like everyone was riding high, everything was going good. So this caught a lot of people by surprise, and this takes us into a fucking another topic where this motherfucker is a pariah. He is a piece of shit. He preys on people to get what he wants. He is a cocksucking bastard, and if he doesn't like it, slide in my DMs, motherfucker. Let's go. You blatantly hurt the hookah community, damage your own self-reputation, and hurt a friend of mine, Kyle Smith, where he trusted you with a product that is a passion product. I'm going to talk right into the camera because I hope he fucking watches this shit. Listen, motherfucker. If you ever come back around, I'm going to be the first person to hold you accountable. Let me see a fucking screenshot or a fucking message. You know, like, give this motherfucker his money for the hard work that he put in. He fucking did his fucking job, and you fucking, a fucking piece of shit pariah, decided not to do your thing as a man and own up to your fucking word, and you ghosted like a little fucking bitch. So if I see you around, we're gonna have fucking words. So, Kyle, with that being said, going forward, do you feel like that you can get back on that horse? That you can get back to that place where you were previously and find that love for the bowls again and get back out there and do it yourself?
I think I can. I wasn't really sure at all for the past year. But I tell you what, going to Hue and just being around the community again and like feeling that love and that support from everyone, like, we want you to get back out there. We want you to put more bowls out. God, that lights a fire under your ass.
I mean, you're always in the conversation. You're always being like, oh man, maybe Kyle's coming out. And there's always rumors. There's always rumors like, oh, I heard Kyle's maybe making something, or, you know, he's doing this. And I'm like, oh man, is he? And you get the excitement. I think the Hookah University, the people who will watch him, are fully supportive of you, fully behind you. And they want to see you have that fire, that sparkle in your eye that you had previously, and they want to be there to be that crutch where you need to rely on people. They want to be those people to help you get back to where you were, because it means so much. It's very few times in life in general, Kyle, that you're going to find a product that you like, that it's amazing, and then the person behind it is even more amazing and more wonderful than the actual product that comes out. So I think a lot of people are rooting for you, and it's just going to keep going. I mean, a lot of people want to see you succeed, and these people, complete strangers, you know, but everything they hear is amazing. No one has a bad thing to say about you, and I think that right now, talking to you, I think that maybe you need to, like, think about actually doing this again. You know, we want to see you happy making these bowls again, making this product that you put so much love into. Like, is it possible before the end of the year that Relics might come back out with something else? You might be in the workshop toying with the idea. You might be playing with some clay, ghost style, you know, where, you know, you got your wife behind you and this sensual music, whatever you need to do to get back into it.
Okay. Yeah, it is, and I've already started designing something that I've been working on. I've been sketching it out and drawing it for about 2 years now, trying to figure out how to get it to work.
Don't you give me hope. Don't you give me hope.
I think I figured it out, because I was not at a point back then or up until now where I had the know-how or the tools to make it work, and it just clicked. Like, it was literally just last week it clicked. I was at work, it was a slow day, I was like sketching in my notepad, and I was like, had the eureka moment. So I've got a new idea for a new type of bowl, and I'm gonna start working on it before the end of the year.
Holy shit. dropping the pipe bombs, dropping the awesome noise. I am super excited to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy that you're in a good place and you're gonna get back on the fucking horse and go full speed ahead. I think a lot of people here are super excited. As you can see, all the fucking thumbs up and all the likes everyone's fucking putting into Facebook. People, that's what people wanted to hear. They wanted you to be happy. They wanted you to be happy going forward and stuff like that. Hey, it's fucking Brandon George. Look at that. Brandon George is now in here. Really
Nice.
quickly, I've been holding this in. I don't know if you can see the chats on Facebook. If you have Facebook open up, if you guys have any questions, shoot them now to Kyle Smith. He will basically answer any questions you have. I'm gonna disappear really quick because I'm gonna blow up if I don't go and pee real quick. So I will be right back.
You gotta tell me where the chat is so I can find it.
I will actually. Boom. Kyle. Wait, that's the wrong keyboard. Kyle Smith, and I will tag you in it. And boom, there you go. You should have the fucking tag. You should be in it or invited you to it. So, yes, maybe.
No, not seen it yet, man.
Can someone send it over to him? I will be. Hey, Brandon George. Yeah, Brandon George is here. So I would like to see
Hey, Brandon.
little conversation. Let me send it over to you, real quick.
You send it on Facebook?
I will send it over on Facebook. I will do that. Once this thing loads, I have a lot of shit popping up here, and so boom, boom, and boom. There you go. There's the link to the fucking thing. I'll be right back. I'm gonna bring my beer with me.
Is this it right here? Sorry, guys. I'm so computer illiterate. Let me find this. That. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Thanks, Rob. I love you too, man. Thank you for existing. Oh, Tam's going to back me in a Superior Cocoa Relics collaboration. I'm down for that. All right, here we go. Comments. Oh, nice. Hey, Brandon. So Brandon asked if I'm going to make another batch of bowls. He said he's coming on at the end of the show. Yeah, I've got 3 projects in the works right now. One of them, all of them, honestly, I have David Harris to thank for reinvigorating me to get back at this at the expo. He took me aside, went out of his way, and was like, look, man, how can I help you produce the relic rings faster and easier? So with his 3D printing background, his knowledge there, he and I are working on something to sort of along the lines where Nino uses slip casting to expedite the process and sort of standardize that process so it's easier and quicker for me to make ring bowls. So yeah, I am going to be making more batches. I'm thinking it's probably going to still be around somewhere between, I don't know, 10 to 20 bowls a batch. And I'm probably going to do a mixed batch, at least starting back out. So I'll do probably say I did 20 bowls. I'd do 15 standard bowls and 5 ring bowls. And then other than the batch, I've got a secret project I can't talk about as far as I know. And then I've got the new concept bowl design that I'm working on. I'm going to try to get a few of those made and maybe do a giveaway with those.
I'm super excited. I guess that was the response to Brandon George?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Cameron, I'm smoking some Dominican guava out of my VZ using a Stone Bowl Pride Bowl. That's what I'm using right now. I have my Provost on top, but I'm enjoying that.
Nice.
That's what I'm enjoying. Tam saying, Kyle, let's get together and collab on a few bowls. Did you not just hear our fucking story? Can you let the man breathe? You let the man breathe. Give a little bit creative space. Jesus Christ. So I'm super happy to hear about you wanting to get out there. And that was basically one of the things where I was like, man, he's got to get back out there. He's got to do this, man. There's a lot of people who are rooting for him. They want to see him succeed. And I think the demand is overwhelming. So do you have any info that you can share going forward? Anything on the pipeline that you can share?
I can tell you that the whole idea I'm working on for the concepts does not involve tinfoil.
Ooh, little tidbits there. So, guys, if you have any more questions, shoot them. We're gonna wrap it up. Kyle, this is the part where Kyle.
God. No.
You thought I was gonna forget.
No.
But I'm not forgetting. I'm gonna bring this shit up real quick. I have a couple pictures to share of Mr. Kyle Smith.
This is why you go to your Facebook on a monthly basis and purge it.
Yeah, you don't want me finding all of the lovely pictures here. Yeah, I got a couple good ones here. They're dope though. They're good.
I'm
Oh,
radically green for every picture I've ever posted.
yeah,
Oh.
so it's good. I'm only doing 3, and 2 of them are the same thing. So we're gonna go in real quickly, and we're gonna look at explain that picture, and we're going to have. So really quickly, I have a picture here of you and Mr. David Harris.
Yes.
What is that about? What is that picture? It looked like you finally made a business card for Relics Rings, or Relics, and he looks. I'm sorry, he looks like a snapping turtle. I will enlarge the picture really quick here so you can see it, but he's my buddy. I can make fun of him from time to time. So when was this picture taken? What was this about?
That was taken last year at 2018's Hookah Expo. He and I had just gone to. David, you're going to have to correct me because I don't remember what casino it was, but we went to one of the all-you-can-eat buffets for like $30.
Oh, that sounds good.
And we just proceeded to get like somehow or another they fucked up our ticket that we got, and they got confused and they thought that we had like unlimited Bud Light, which we did not pay for. So we were just getting Bud Lights dropped off at our table before we could even finish the second one they'd already brought us.
That sounds like a great time. I know fucking Frank Simmons he's a big Bud Light guy, so he would have loved that.
Yeah, we were full of lobster and Bud Light in that picture.
So the next picture, being a video game enthusiast, I think this is hilarious. So this is a 2-part picture here. I'm actually gonna show it really quickly.
I was proud of that actually.
And this is pretty great. And there's one more. I'll just embarrass you one more time here.
Oh, please.
Because your action pose.
Oh my god, that's when I'm rocking the sparse goatee.
This is the action. This is the action pose. You actually very much look like Chris Pratt here, I will say. So what was the like? I know what the inspiration behind that one was, but man, that's fucking so dope. Like, I love it. I love it so much. It's so great. So what was that? A Halloween costume?
No, actually, that was when I was in college, and my roommate at the time, his name was Micah Durham. He was an actor, and he took part in the Renaissance Fair that was about like 2 hours west of us every year. So he was playing either a king or a prince at the Renaissance Fair that year, and he told me about it, and I was really into Assassin's Creed at the time, and I was like, dude, how cool would it be if I came dressed as Altair and like tried to assassinate you in the middle of the jousting? So, we may have been pretty drunk or baked that night. I don't remember.
He's full-blown nerd. No one that's not a nerd is dressing up as Altair to assassinate a king. I'll tell you that right now. That is hilarious. I saw these pictures and I thought they were so great. I was like, I'm gonna share with the rest of the class. This is fucking amazing. So yeah, that's fucking fantastic.
I talked my girlfriend at the time into sewing most of that for me. I made most of the like the fake leather crap, and then showed up to the Ren Fair and chased him around in the middle of the jousting competition. And then like the guards would come. They've like bought into it, hook and sinker, man. The guards would come chase after me, and I'd like sit down on a bench next to a couple people.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?"
I feel like we're catering to a certain audience here that only played Assassin's Creed. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're nerding out a little bit too much. That like half the audience is just like, what the fuck are they talking about? What are these guys talking about? But if you played Assassin's Creed, it's fucking an amazing outfit. I love it so much. All right, Kyle, it's been awesome sitting here with you. I'm going to give you the floor because it's been like over an hour, and we have more beers to drink, buddy. We have more beers to drink. And I'm only my third beer in, so really quick, cheers it. And let the people know where you stand, where you're at, what's going on in your life, and what are your goals for the end of this year. Take it away, Kyle Smith.
No prep for that. I'm in a really goddamn good place in my life right now. In a very small way, I'm glad that the shit happened that did happen with Hookah Heroes, because I was going nonstop every night, not seeing my wife at all. She'd bring me dinner out my little pottery tent, and they gave me time to like step back and look at where I was in my life as a 31-year-old at the time, and realize, shit, man, it's time to like start looking for a house and like thinking about kids. And I don't know, the past year's been great, man. We got a house. Like, I never dreamed I'd own a house, so this is still pretty surreal. But it's also given me time to like sit back and realize how much everybody in the community really supports me and appreciates me, which I didn't think would stick around when I stopped making bowls. I kind of at the time thought, okay, this is awesome, but you know, how much of it is people just wanting something from you? Not to sound like conceited, but that thought entered my mind. But I haven't put out a bowl in over a year, and I still get people coming up to me at the expo, and every time we hang out and every time we talk on hangs, like really want me to get back at it and like just being totally understanding. I'm in a really good place right now, and I'm gonna go forward with this bowl stuff. It's also let me realize that I was living in a place before when I was releasing bowls where I was striving to be a full-time producer, but did not have the means to do that. So it was stressing the shit out of like every other aspect of my life. So it's let me realize like, hey, you need to like do what's within your capacity. Don't overextend yourself. It's going to lead to a shittier product. It's going to lead to a shittier life at home. So yeah, going forward, I'm going to be doing bowls and batches at my own pace, putting them out. However many I get out is however many you get, and I just got to be cool with that.
I mean, Kyle, listen, we're only human. We can only do so much. This past year, I learned a lot about myself and what I can do and what my capacity is as a human being. A lot of times, I didn't realize, like, you know, being too stressed or overworked. To me, that was just like, okay, I got to step my game up. I got to be a better version of myself to achieve the results. I never thought that I needed to rely on other people as much as I think I thought I needed to or I should have until this year. And this year, for me personally, also a lot of growth. Like, I would love to buy a house. I'm moving to Florida. You know, a lot of personal things with me and my girlfriend. Like, I had a lot of things on my plate. And it takes, like, you can only compare yourself to the year prior. Where have I come? How far has that journey been? What decisions have I made that are correctly? What decisions have I made for the worst for that year? And never look at someone else and be like, oh, this person has this, I want that. Okay, it's good to strive for certain things, but don't ever compare yourself to another human being. That's probably like the worst thing you can do.
That was a huge problem for me because so many people, and of course I appreciated it and I was completely flattered, but so many people were starting to lump. I still don't think I'm quite there yet, at least production wise, but we're starting to lump my name in with the big two artisan bowls, Mason and Stone. And that made me feel like that's the bar I've got to hit. That's the standard I have to meet as far as how many I'm putting out, how frequently. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're right. You can't compare yourself to other people because they're in a totally different set of circumstances. I'm glad I stepped back and reevaluated that.
But sometimes you need that. You know, sometimes you definitely need that, Kyle. You need to take a step back and be like, you know what? I need to recoup myself and get back to where I was and take myself out of a certain environment, remove myself, make certain decisions. And I'm happy that you got the house. Everything's going great with your wife. I'm happy to hear with your wife that she was like, you know, the person also to like really inspire you to pursue this area. Because honestly, behind like every great guy, there's a girl for the most part that fucking is gonna be there and be like, when you're doubting yourself, she could be like, shut the fuck up and you can do this, you know, because like you're only
Yep.
human, you doubt yourself all the time, and it's important to have that support system. But yeah, dude, it's been fucking great. Let's fucking drink a bowl. So I'm gonna switch over to the other scene, and we're gonna fucking drink our drink. We're gonna down it right here on the camera in front of everyone. All right,
go.
hold on, let's switch over. Let's do it.
Rowdy is bud.
Cheers, buddy.
Here, have some pretzels.
Cheers.
Oh, I'll call it quits. Those things give me the schlitz.
Drink with your family, drink it
Oh, fuck your shit. Oh, God.
stomach distended.
Okay, I think we're ready for another one. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. YouTube, Facebook, and we'll probably be on a Piers playing Rocket League. So until next time, guys, take it easy.
See once more.
Love you. Bye, guys.